Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon to all of you. A warm welcome from the Oracle Apex team to this inaugural session of Apex Office Hours JPAC. My name is Chaitanya. I'm a product manager on the Oracle Apex product development team, and I also lead the JPAC product management for Oracle Apex. We have successfully run the Apex Office Hours for India for several years before pandemic. And we thought now it's the time to expand this series and brand to the entire JPAC community and region. I once again welcome you all to this dedicated office hours. Yes, this is going to be a dedicated monthly Apex office hours, specially for the JPAC region. And now let's go over the agenda for today. So today's session, we have a keynote by Ashish Mahindru, who is the Vice President of Product Management for Oracle Apex. Ashish heads the global product management team and is responsible for product management and strategy and overall business growth for Oracle Apex. And next, we're going to have a year-end review by Shakib Rahman, who is an architect on the Oracle Apex team. Shakib is responsible for the entire UX of Oracle Apex and also leads many strategic projects for Oracle Apex at Oracle. Then we are going to have a special guest today, Adrian Payne from Insum Solutions, a Talan company, which is a well-known partner for Oracle Apex. Adrian is a senior cloud solutions architect at Insum and is going to share with us his Apex story today. And finally, I'll be concluding the talk with a few resources for you to help out to get started with Apex and also to join other events coming up in the JPAC region and also globally. With that, I'll pass it on to Ashish for his keynote. Over to you, Ashish.
Thanks so much, Chaitanya, and welcome to everybody who's joining us from the JPAC region. I'm really excited to be part of this very first office hours for JPAC for Apex. And with that, I'd like to give you a little bit of background about myself. I have been with Oracle for almost about 7 years. And for the last 9 months, I've taken over the responsibility of leading product management for Apex, world's most popular low-code application platform. I'd like to share some slides with you to talk about what we are doing with Apex, what's our overall growth in the region, especially in JPAC, and what our customers, more importantly, our customers, the partners are doing with our platform. So if you attended Oracle Cloud World in Las Vegas, or actually if you watched the recording or on-demand recording of Larry's keynote, you would have noticed that Larry got on stage and really talked about two key technologies, which are the foundation for Oracle's next generation application development tools and platform. The first was Oracle Autonomous Database, and the second was Oracle Apex low-code application development platform. And why did he come on stage and really talk about that? The reason was when we actually build applications using this platform of combination of Autonomous Database and Apex, we actually just found that there was a 10x productivity gain in building net new applications. This wasn't just in theory, we actually proved it when Oracle built an application called vSafe as part of the COVID response systems. And actually, Shakib was key part of that team. He's going to talk about it a little bit more later. But when they actually developed this this particular application, using the traditional method versus building on Apex, they actually found that there was a 10x productivity gain, and they were able to build this 10x faster than traditional application development. That really paved the way to say low code actually is very critical and strategic when you're building out rapid applications or when you're building out applications at scale. So if you're wondering, if you're new to Apex and you're wondering what is Apex, Apex is the world's most popular enterprise low-code application platform. It enables you to build scalable and secure enterprise apps with world-class features, 20x faster with 100x less code. Apex also delivers the most productive way to develop and deploy mobile, web, and desktop apps everywhere, whether you're building it for the cloud or on premises. Now, we've been seeing some incredible growth with Apex. Apex has been around for a long time, and we have over 2 million applications that are live or built with Apex worldwide today. Over the last year, we found that our application growth was incredible. We had about a 7x year-over-year growth for new applications built with Apex. On a daily basis, we are seeing that our users are building about 3,000 plus Apex apps on every day on a daily basis. And we have a very large community of developers. There are about 700,000 plus Apex developers worldwide, and they're growing organically. Developers like yourself, they are recommending Apex to their peers, and that community has grown about 25% year over year on an organic basis. So it's a very healthy ecosystem, growing very rapidly, with net new applications being created and net new users being added on a daily basis. Now, when we say Oracle Apex is the world's most popular low-code application platform, we're not just taking that claim on our own. There's actually a recent survey that was done by IDC, which reached out to 1,000 plus organizations or companies worldwide, and they asked them what are their choices of low-code application development platforms. And as you can see from the results, Oracle came out on top ahead of every other vendor on the list, including Microsoft Power Apps, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and a lot of pure play vendors that are critical in this particular space. So not only is Oracle used by most companies around the world, but we also realized that when they asked these customers, when Gartner actually, another leading analyst firm, asked these customers about their experience with these low-code application platforms and how they wanted to rate them in terms of usability, the results they're getting out of it, and overall impact on business, again, Oracle Apex outscored every other vendor in the space. So this is not actually just us saying anything or analysts pontificating. It's actual users and customers rating the tools that they use on a daily basis. And again, Oracle Apex rated the highest, again, ahead of Microsoft Power Apps, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and all the other vendors on that list. Now, that's a big reason why we have thousands and thousands of customers worldwide are actually building applications on a daily basis with Oracle Apex. You can see these companies range from very large enterprises like Disney, Siemens, to new age companies like Airbnb, Uber. Oracle just made a big announcement with Uber, Lyft, and so on and so forth. They are using Apex across the board for multiple use cases of application development, application extensions, or just getting more value out of the overall data that they have in their enterprise. Not only do we have great momentum around the world, we also see that in JPAC itself, a number of companies are actually using Apex. Companies like McDonald's in Hong Kong, Nomura Research, it's the largest systems integrator in Japan, is actually using Apex for very complicated use cases. Dell Technologies, Airtel in India, which is one of the largest mobile telecom providers in India, Accenture, one of the largest SIs, and so on and so forth. The list goes on and on. We are seeing incredible adoption of Apex in the overall JPAC region as a whole. Like I mentioned, one of the big companies that is using Apex is Nomura Research, or NRI. They are the largest systems integrator in Japan. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. And when they were looking for a new platform to develop applications, they were very intrigued by low-code. And because they were intrigued by low-code, they actually went out and researched 20 different vendors for low-code. And they wanted to see which was the best low-code platform in the market. And out of the 20 vendors, they decided on Apex. They realized that Apex was the one that gave them everything they needed, from a comprehensive and integrated platform to a modern architecture to be able to scale on the cloud, go on premises and on the cloud, and be able to handle really enterprise scale applications. In order to test that, the first thing they did was to create a proof of concept with Apex. And for the proof of concept, they decided to build a replica of Instagram using Apex. So the idea was, if we can build Instagram, a scalable mobile application with ease on a low-code platform like Apex, then we can actually think about really tackling more complex mission critical applications that are enterprise grade. And what they've built as part of the POC is what they call Demonstragram, which is a replica of Instagram with all the similar capabilities of Instagram, which is a social network, be able to create posts, share posts, like posts, be comment on these posts, and so on and so forth, and be easily able to scale this application with their end users. Once they were satisfied, they ended up moving to a more complicated mission critical applications like building their executive dashboards, be able to build applications for governance, risk and compliance, and fraud detection. An example of this application, as you can see, is a executive dashboard. They were very quickly able to build this with Apex. There's a whole live demo behind this that they actually showcased at one of our events at Cloud World Las Vegas. Now, the end result of this entire endeavor with NRI was, with Apex for NRI, was that they were able to actually deliver more with fewer number of people. They were able to actually reduce their human resources or their application development team size by about 65%. So with only 35% of the resources, with not that advanced developers, with basic level developers, they were able to build really critical enterprise grade mission critical applications for their use. So they were very happy with the use of Apex and really scale that for other applications on an ongoing basis. Now they've made Apex a critical platform, or I would say a standard platform for net new application development within NRI. And there are lots of use cases like this with a lot of customers, especially in the JPAC region, of using basically experimenting with low code and then scaling that up for mission critical applications as time goes by. Now, if you want to learn more about these customers, we're also launching, we actually launched a new business innovation series. The intent of the series is we showcase a net new customer every month. And this customer talks about their experience with low code, the business challenges that they're solving, and how did they do that using Oracle Apex. So we had one on January 10th. You can actually view the recording. Everything is recorded. You can view it on demand, online. And the next one is scheduled with NRI on February 28th at 17:00 UTC times. So I would highly encourage you to sign up via this link and actually hear directly from these customers on their journey with low code and the value they're getting out of that. In addition to our customers, we're also seeing a tremendous amount of momentum with our partners in the JPAC region. As you can see from the slide, you'll hear more from Insum, who's our guest speaker today. But other partners, SIs and partners, are really picking up the mantle of really driving low code and be able to provide that support and additional capabilities to really solve business challenges for our end customers. In addition to that, if you're looking to learn more about Apex, if you're new to Apex and want to learn about Apex or want to recommend Apex to somebody else and to your peers or your friends, we also have a free online course called Apex Foundations. It's a training course, it's a 3.5-hour online training course developed by Chaitanya and team to really give you the basics of low-code application development with Apex. So at the end of the course, you'll be able to really understand the fundamentals of Apex and also be able to build simple applications using Apex. A more advanced course is coming later in March. And after taking that course, you'll become what we call a certified Apex developer or a professional Apex developer. I would also encourage you to try Apex on your own. So if you are interested and if you're new again to Apex and you want to kick the tires or really start building new applications, Apex is available for free. You can start with Apex on Oracle Cloud for free. Just sign up for the Oracle Cloud account, and you can launch the Apex service and start building your applications. Not only can you develop these applications, but you can deploy it at production grade and just see how the experience goes for you, and then you can go from there. With that, I will turn it back to Chaitanya for the next section of this presentation.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you so much for the keynote. And I would like to pass it on to Shakib now for his ear interview. Over to you, Shakib.
All right. Hi. Thanks, Chaitanya, so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for this inaugural Oracle Apex Office Hours series in the JPAC region. If you may be wondering, what does JPAC sort of stand for? At Oracle, we sort of have names for different regions across the globe. And JPAC is really like Japan and Asia Pacific. So it's actually a massive part of the world. And really, with the start of this office hours, our hope is that we have many other office hour sessions. We have the Global Apex Office Hours that happens on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. And that's not convenient for billions of people on the planet. So we wanted to have this session to really combine our efforts and reach a wider audience, especially as the Apex community is growing. So with that being said, I just want to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Shakib Rahman, and I'm an architect on the Oracle Apex team. I've been with Oracle since 2006, and I actually joined the Apex team in 2009 under my manager, Mike Kitchwa. I'm based in the Reston, Virginia area, which is very close to Washington, D.C., and my primary areas of responsibility on the Apex team are focused on the user experience of Apex, as well as on a number of strategic projects where we use Apex, for various internal and external projects. Today, when I talk about sort of like the last 12 months, or really like 2022, and give a little summary, a year in review. So let's take a retrospective and sort of look at how big of a year it's been. Ashish mentioned this a little bit ago, but Oracle Apex received, really for the third time so far, the Customer's Choice, the Gartner Peer Insights Customer Choice Award for 2022 for low-code application platforms. And really, this is coming not from us. It's not coming from Gartner reviewing our platform. It's coming from our customers writing reviews on the Gartner platform, sharing with the world their success stories and how they've been able to use Apex and how they've been successful with it. Really, I think this is an excellent gauge of sort of seeing like, hey, do customers like using our product? And I think that is an overwhelming yes. Customers love Apex. Every time I talk to customers, they're just blown away. They really turn into superheroes when they're using Apex and being able to solve these problems without really all the minutia of all the low-level coding that you'd have to do otherwise. So in 2022, we had a number of big announcements. I want to talk about first the first major release that we released in 2022. So this was Apex 22.1, and this was a monumental release. And what it did was it finally brought workflow capabilities natively into Apex. And this started with the approvals component and the unified task list. It also provided deeper support for progressive web apps. So you can now customize your service worker. We vastly simplified the create page wizards. So it's even easier to go and build, extend your applications, add new pages to it. We made it even easier to add sample data to your application. So we introduced this thing called Data Generator. And one of my favorites, and something that's been requested by the community for a long time, is providing an ability to easily diff your applications. So we introduced readable application export formats. You can get it in JSON or YAML. And now you can have really human readable diffs of applications side by side. A lot of other improvements as well across the board. For example, a small feature, but I think it actually changes the way you look at searching across many Apex components, is how we improved the row search functionality. So now it's a little bit more natural and intuitive, I would say. And basically what it's doing is it's a new tokenized search behavior. And you'll notice as I've started to use Apex 22.1, or newer, you'll just feel that the search behavior is so much better. A lot of new enhancements, but this is the first release. Ever since Apex 18.1, so 2018, we moved to this like sort of twice annual release cycle. And so we now have two opportunities to sort of provide you with the latest and greatest improvements to Apex. Apex 22.2 was another game changer release in my eyes. So this is fast forward to November 2022. And for the first time ever, we announced the availability of Apex, not only for download and on-premise, but also on Autonomous Database. So for the first time, it's available on both Autonomous Database and download. And this is something that we expect to keep going for future releases. Now, Apex 2022, this introduced the all-new application search functionality. And what this did was it made it easy for you to add search engine-like capabilities to your applications. So you can search across a variety of data sources. You simply go to shared components, application search, you add your data, your search configurations. So you can search across any number of tables. You can even search your static lists, for example. And now you can build your search page, and it can search across all those things and return results, just like a search engine. So it's a massive feature, and really it was the marquee feature of that release in my eyes. But there's many other improvements, especially with PWA. So this included application shortcuts, application screenshots, being able to use your device's geolocation easily. When you share links, now you can actually share content from your Apex application using the native share functionality on your mobile device. There's also declarative meta tags. So if you're building a public-facing Apex application, you can now, declaratively add those open graph tags that can make it easier for search engines to search your Apex application. Or even when you're sharing links, let's say you're pasting a link to your Apex app in iMessage or on Facebook or Twitter, it can actually get unfurled and show you contents of that page. One of the other new features I really enjoyed was the invoke API process type. So what this means is if you have any stored procedures, if you have functions that you want to call, you can now call those declaratively in a low-code approach. So you're not having to type in the actual PL/SQL code anymore. You simply select the procedures, the package that you want to call, the function, whatever it is, and Apex will automatically map all the input parameters to items on the page. You can configure them as you like, and that's it. You can now go and run these things. So a lot of enhancements. I didn't even talk about we enhanced approvals. We added landmark support for regions. So now you can actually define the landmarks for your regions on the page. Lots of enhancements to universal theme, a lot of developer enhancements, dynamic action enhancements. But really, it sort of completed the vision of this release for 2022. So 2 big releases so far, but that's not all. Apex in 2022 was, again, it was a big year. In this year alone, we published 42 customer success stories. Now, these customers, come from a range of industries, from healthcare to finance to retail, transportation, and beyond. And these customers these are global customers, right? And these customers have found success with Apex, proving its versatility, proving its effectiveness, and even the most diverse markets. And whatever the field, they've been able to leverage the power of low-code, the power of Apex to achieve their goals. So whether these companies were sort of streamlining workflows, improving inefficiencies in their processes, launching new products, I think they've been all able to receive tangible results using Apex, and they were happy to share their success stories. So one ask that I have for all of you watching this is, if you have a success story that you'd like to share with us, let us know. Especially reach out to our product management team, and we'd be happy to talk to you. We'd love to know how you're successful with Apex. In 2022, we also had 28 Apex office hour sessions. And the Apex office hours, these are live sessions that happen, on a regular cadence. And it's a great opportunity for you to learn about what's happening in the Apex world. You'll learn directly from the development team. You'll learn directly from customers and partners. And we try to provide this in as many sort of avenues and for as many audiences as possible. And that's part of the reason why we're here today, right now, right? We're growing the Apex office hours, series and extending it with even more, for additional languages, for additional regions, and for additional use cases. So in 2022, we had 28 sessions, 7,000 live attendees, and over 54,000, views across all of the sessions. The best part about all of this is that all of these sessions are recorded and they're available to watch at any time. So if you missed a session, no worries. You can just go to apex.oracle.com/office hours. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can go to the Apex website, just go to videos, and you'll see the entire, all the playlists for all the different sessions we've had over the years. This is really a treasure trove of information. So if you're looking on, how do I use a new feature in Apex? Chances are that we have an Apex Office Hours session about it already, and you can watch the video and learn directly from the developers that built that feature. 2022 was also the year where in-person conferences made a big comeback. Now, there have been 22 in-person conferences in over 11 countries. And these conferences are back and better than ever before, especially after the hiatus, thanks to due to the pandemic. So when I attended, for example, Kscope, there was a lot of excitement and energy. And it's really, there's really nothing like being in person and attending sessions, talking to customers' hands, in person directly, grabbing a drink with the customer, taking them out for lunch, just talking about like how they're able to use Apex, right? If they have a technical problem, they can reach out and talk to other customers that are right there. I remember going to this conference, and there's always sort of be a line as soon as we're done with the sessions, and people are asking like, hey, how do I use this? Or I have this one thing, can we show it to you? There's really nothing like this. And the fact that we've had so many in-person conferences is a great sign in my view. And I think we're going to see this trend continue as we sort of make our way out of this pandemic. I also want to talk about the growth of apex.oracle.com. So this is an evaluation service. If you go to apex.oracle.com, you can sign up for a free Apex workspace. And within a few minutes, you can get your own Apex environment. You can start building applications. Completely free, no credit card needed. And this is really an evaluation instance for you to try things out, right? The latest versions of Apex, the latest capabilities. And what we've seen is in 2022, we've actually hit a record for us, which was getting to 1,000 new workspace requests a day. So I looked at the stats earlier today, and on this single instance and this single environment for Apex, there are over 90,000 workspaces, 180,000 applications, and 150,000 developers on this single instance of Apex. Now, we also have another instance within Oracle, and this is called Apex.Oracle Corp. And this is available for really any employee at the company to use, and they can go and build applications. They don't have to go and go through any kind of approval process or anything. And what it does is it democratizes application development. And we've seen the same pattern again and again at a lot of our customers as well. So a lot of our larger customers, they'll set up a single Apex environment, and they will encourage their employees to go and use this environment in a way that, there's a centralized location. IT can sort of govern this in a central place, and you're avoiding and eliminating shadow IT departments, right? Like departments are sort of spinning up their own IT, infrastructure and setting their own instances up. So it's a great way to use Apex, and we've seen a lot of success with it on apex.oracle.com. In 2022, and actually in November of 2022, Oracle acquired FOEX. FOEX, if you may not know, they're a recognized leader in the Apex community. They're a longtime partner, and really they bring deep expertise in Apex UI. They're known for a lot of their plugins, and Oracle recently acquired them to really help us extend the capabilities in Apex and make Apex even better. One thing that's a little bit interesting is that this is the first acquisition in the last 10 years. So at least for the database organization. And also it's the first Oracle acquisition in Austria. So I really welcome, the entire FOEX team to the Apex team. And I just know that we're going to do incredible things together. Ashish mentioned this earlier, but I love this slide and I love showing it again and again because, it sort of shows the journey of Apex. So at Cloud World in 2022 at Las Vegas, Oracle co-founder and chief technology officer, Larry Ellison, talked about next generation application development. And the key message here was of productivity. So what are the next generation tools, next generation application development tools? Well, it's two things, right? It's Oracle Autonomous Database, which eliminates the human labor, the human error aspects associated with having to maintain your own database, having to patch your own database, having to tune your database. And then the application development component, which is Apex. So what Apex is going to do is it's going to provide this low-code environment for you to build applications where you don't have to worry about all the other, facets of application development that you normally have to do. right? You wouldn't have to worry about like the session state management, authentication, responsive design and UI and PWAs. All these things are sort of taken care of for you, so you can sort of focus on the problem at hand. So the huge performance, gains and productivity gains we're talking about here, this is sort of inherent in all Apex applications. So Larry talked about how we use Apex to build vSafe as part of our pandemic response systems. This is a system that I was actually personally involved in, and we built a system from getting day zero requirements, understanding what it is we wanted to build, to having a production ready system that went live on December 13, 2020. And that was in 68 days, right before the first vaccines were coming out. And the only way we were able to do this is because we were able to rely on using Oracle Apex as the application layer, the database as sort of like the data platform, and OCI that provided all the other pieces that we needed to run this system, right? So we didn't worry about having to build a cloud-ready application platform, right? We had all the things there. All we had to build was a simple survey application. And really, at the end of the day, think of it like this, right? We're building a form to collect data, and we're going to make sense of that data, analyze that data, get insights from the data, and sort of see like, hey, can we understand vaccine efficacy and the safety of these vaccines? And that's what vSafe did. So how do you grow this next generation application development, right? And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to try to grow our Apex community. So in 2023 already, we have launched the Apex Office Hours in Romanian. And you're here today with us for the Apex Office Hours inaugural session for the JPAC region. We also launched earlier this year the Apex Business Innovations. So this is all about sharing our customers' success stories with the world. Every month, we'll plan to have a special episode focusing on a single customer and sort of learning about how they're using Apex at scale, to solve really mission critical problems. Just 3 weeks ago, on January 31st, we launched Oracle Forums, and this is really a large effort that we worked on for a while to migrate the developer community from the Oracle Communities platform to this new Apex-based solution. So Oracle Forums is really, based on an internal application we have called Einstein, which is used by, I think 60,000 employees by over 200 different teams and organizations to find answers to questions. So we've been working with the DevRel team in our marketing organization to modernize our Oracle communities. And we just recently launched this. It's the same exact application we use internally, but now we're using it externally as well. And this is really the face of the Oracle community, right? It's going to eventually, we're going to migrate all the other community nodes over from Oracle Communities. And this will be the face where you can interact with other Oracle customers, whether they're developers, they're application users, whatever it might be. This is really going to be the face of the Apex, the face of the Oracle community. And I believe that the Apex community, this is something that's really quite special. It's unlike any other community that I know of. I may be a bit biased here, but I just know that people are really quite enthusiastic about Apex and using Apex to solve problems. And this is true across the globe, right? Every conference I've gone to, every Apex event that I've been to, that our team has been to, we always see the same excitement and the same enthusiasm for Apex. And that's, again, sort of the reason why we're here today. The world's a big place, and the Oracle Apex community is a truly global community. From all corners of the globe, developers love using Apex, and I believe that we have a vibrant, thriving community. And what better way to expand and grow our community than to make ourselves more available and more accessible to a wider audience. So with that being said, we have today with us a special guest from one of our global partners, Insum, who recently actually opened up offices in Singapore, and they're helping us grow the Apex community in the region. So I'd like to welcome our special guest today, Adrian Payne, He's a senior cloud solutions architect from Insum. And actually, Adrian is a very well-known and prominent member of the Apex community in general. Adrian's also the author of the Extending Oracle Apex with Oracle Cloud Features book, which was recently published in September 2022. And he's also an Oracle ACE director. So please welcome Adrian. Hi, Adrian.
Thanks, Shakib. It was a very generous introduction for me. And thanks to your team for having me on this, well, it's evening for me, but this afternoon for everyone.
Hey, honestly, the pleasure is all ours. I'm so happy that you're here with us. One thing I didn't mention is that you're actually also the creator of the Oracle Apex Challenge Coin as well. So could you tell me a little bit about like how you got into Apex and like, what sort of kicked this thing off?
For sure. So my story basically started about 13 years ago now. So I remember, so I moved from Singapore to Vancouver in 2007. 3 years later, I remember having David Peake. Yeah, I think then he was one of the product managers for the Apex development team. He came up. I sat through, I think, an afternoon of workshops to kind of learn Apex. Right. I worked at the university in British Columbia at the time, and generally, I was working in an environment where we didn't like Oracle very much, licensing and stuff like that.
Right, sure.
And basically, for me to introduce Apex would be kind of a challenge. But then the opportunity came when the human resource department decided that they wanted to take part in a 10,000 steps event. And basically what it was that they would give us the pedometer, and you would wear it and make sure you clock that 10,000 steps, right? But what was strange was that they asked us they gave us all a spreadsheet, and we were supposed to fill out how many steps we took for every day, 5 days a week. And on Friday, we were supposed to hand it off to the HR person, and she was going to spend the entire weekend collating all the numbers so that on Monday she could say, oh, okay, who's leading and who's not. Right?
So did you email the spreadsheet to her? Like, is that the?
We were supposed to, yeah.
Got it.
We were supposed to do that.
Yep.
And I thought to myself, because I think there were 54 of us who signed up to take part in this event.
Oh my!
And it was going to run for, I think, at least 10 weeks, if I remember correctly. And I was in the IT department at that time. I was like, no, it's just not going to work, right? She's going to spend all that time over the weekend and doing this for 10 weeks. I knew a little bit about Apex at the time. I knew I could spin up a database server at that time as well, and install Apex and get everything kind of up and running. And then within the weekend, I wrote a very basic Apex app when and everybody could kind of just sign in and fill in a form, right? And then we would have charts to kind of show who's leading. We would aggregate scores based on teams. And as time went on, I did get to kind of improve the app day by day. But by the end of the 10 weeks, I found out that there were people who were walking while they were on their computers because they know who was leading, who was not with all the charts, right? And I don't think we would have that kind of enthusiasm had it not been this whole dynamic change of status, right? Who's
So you actually encourage people to walk more because they could actually see the stats live on this application that you built.
Right. And it wouldn't have happened if we had to wait the entire week just for somebody to, collate that numbers. And one thing I was able to demonstrate throughout the whole thing was my boss at that time was very particular that if we were to introduce any sort of web applications, they have to be integrated with what we were using for single sign-on. That was a critical factor.
Mhm.
And that time, I think we were on 4.2, and
Mhm.
header authentication at that time was just introduced. And there was a small issue, right? But it had to do with the app user being capitalized all the time, and it just didn't work with our system. And I didn't know about that. And I remember writing to, I think it was Patrick Wolf, and he just came back and he said, well, here's a script to kind of correct the issue, use it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I used it and it worked, right? And I was kind of flawed, right? I had to use .NET, I'd use Java. Never had I had that close encounter with the development team who can fix my problem just in time. And you know, once all that happened, just that simple little exercise happened, Apex basically caught on, and then we were using it for, you know, to support research that was going on at the center itself. And that's basically how my career in Apex started. And I like what you said about community, and you know, as I've explained earlier on, the stuff that Patrick did for me, that was a huge game changer. It was also through community that I got to know Martin D'Souza. He now works with you guys. And he brought me to Case Go. I got to present, and you know, I was very privileged to have had Joel in my audience at that time. And it's like, you know, I was a nobody, right? But this community kind of supported me, and I grew. I joined in a few years later, and it was also through community work. And yeah, so that's basically my Apex story.
Hey, so I have two questions really quickly.
Yeah.
So this application that you built, which environment did you use? Like, did they have an environment already at this place?
No, at the time we didn't. Right.
So did you use apex.oracle.com or something, or like?
No. So at the university we have a site license, so I could deploy a database of my own. Installing Apex was not the most difficult thing in the world to do. And
Got it.
And you know, as you were describing, that it's a low-code environment, but it's got so many rich features that are already built into it. So I could, you know, just really focus and building that app that I needed to build, and all the data visualizations that had to come with it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think one thing a lot of people don't realize about Apex, especially if they're new to it, is that really Apex was birthed in the enterprise, I would say. So that we tried to solve some of the hardest problems first, and then we thought like, hey, how do we make it so it's easy as possible so others don't have to spend as much time to do it, versus starting from the very basic problems and working ourselves up to more complex problems. That's an interesting way of looking at it.
And I used to have this one slide whenever I had to introduce Apex to any environment, and it's basically displaying I think like 5 bubbles stacked on top of each other, which talks about the authentication piece, the business logic, the platform, the database, and then the backup and recovery. And then I had this little thing that goes around that talks about security. And the way I look at that picture is, it's everything else except the business logic is for me to be concerned about, and that's really what I should be concerned about. In where I worked at the research center, it was very important for us to you know, set certain ground rules, like what platforms should be, and that had a lot to do with code maintainability, and we had that very much. Yeah.
Okay. So I've been following some of the work that you've been doing lately, and it seems like you like to work at like the edge of technology, like how close you can get to like the latest and greatest. Can you talk about some of the cool things you've done lately with Apex?
Yeah, for sure. So I started with Apex, but in some, because we had so many customers who had Oracle databases, and then so we grew a database administration, DBA practice as well. And then when OCI Gen 2 came out, we thought very seriously about building up a cloud practice as well. So I started doing a lot of integrations with the OCI features as well. And that's what I'm actually going to show. And since today, I need to sign in again. Let me just share my screen.
Sure.
So since today we have, I believe, people from different parts of the world. One of the things that I kind of worked on was trying to remember my password, which is really difficult, was to make use of the OCI, I think now you call it Oracle AI services. Actually, let me take a step back. I wanted to learn a new language, and I wanted to learn Japanese. I'm just going to
So you want to learn Japanese, and so you built an Apex application to help you learn Japanese.
Well, I like cool gadgets as well, right? So I knew about this. I knew about this little. It's an e-paper that's 4.7 inch, I think. Yeah, and I could stick it on my fridge. And so one of the ways to kind of help you learn things is to have flashcards. And then I didn't want to have a lot of paper lying around, so I found this product, and I knew I could work with web services and stuff like that. So this is a little video of the fridge magnet, just to prove that it actually works. It is going to change. So here it's refreshing, it's starting up. It's going to first try and connect to the internet, and then it will call a REST endpoint. That's all built on ORATs, right? And there you go. But I had to enter a lot of this by hand. And Dimitri, back in 2021, he kind of gave me this challenge. I don't think he intended it to be a challenge, but I took it as a challenge. Where he was saying basically the next step was me being able to do it with voice. I'm going to say something in English. It's going to go through some kind of black box, and I'm going to have the translations built into it. At that time, 2021, I couldn't do that easily. But I think somewhere early 2022, the speech APIs were available, and so I could build this up. And I'm going to do a live demo, and I'm going to record my voice. Hello. So what this does then is to send a speech job to do a transcription. Fingers crossed, everything would be processed, and I'll get whatever I said transcribed over here. Yeah, it worked. So now I can save this over here, and then I can make use of a different API. It's called the language, and this is also newer, right? Language before it would do things like pick out keywords and stuff like that. But in version 2 of the APIs, there was translation as well. So now I could then say, translate this to Japanese. And I'll have the Japanese text.
You have konnichiwa.
Yeah. And I can just, once I'm done, I just add it to my little database. And here's a whole bunch of words that I have. So every record here is then being exposed as a REST endpoint using ORATs. And that's what the device actually pulls out.
That's incredible. Like, so how first of all, how good is your Japanese now?
I don't practice enough.
Oh, come on.
Maybe one of these days we should convert.
そうですね。Very, very cool. So this application is built on OCI. You're interacting with the two OCI services for dealing with languages. So one to transcribe the audio that you recorded and turn it into English, and the other one to take that English text and turn it, convert it, translate it into Japanese.
That's correct.
And how long did it take you to figure this out?
Well, the Apex part was easy, right? It's a standard cloud application. So the things that I kind of needed to do was to learn how to work with the REST endpoints, and then it's just really using Apex Web Services, the PL/SQL package, to interact with the packages. And in 19.2, you guys made it really easy for us to work with the OCI REST APIs with the web credentials. So all I really had to figure out was, in fact, I think I would spend most of my time trying to figure out how to write the Arduino code to display.
Yeah. And so that picture of the fridge, that was actually your fridge. That was your device that you had at home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's there for my wife to kind of see those words that I'm trying to learn, and it's basically reinforcement, right? Every time you see it, the more you see it, the more you kind of absorb.
Got it.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about, so just taking a step back a little bit, right? You said that you're a native of Singapore. There's offices now that you have, like you have an office, Insum has an office in Singapore. Like, what's going on there? Can you tell me a little bit more about the Apex community there and what you've been trying to do?
Yeah, so let me just turn off the share for now. So COVID was a challenging time, I'd say, but it was also with Zoom calls being so popular, and it really transformed how we kind of work together. I think it gave us the opportunity, because the Canada ASEAN Business Council at that time, they wanted to continue the activities to try and encourage businesses to go between the region and Canada, and they organized a sort of it was a little event where the Minister of Trade did the presentation, but we also had a networking session after. And I somehow was able to convince our then CEO, Michelle Saint-Amour, to join in, right? Because it's easy to just join a Zoom call, and for us to work with our friends in ASEAN was really just for us to stay up late at night, because I think for him, he was on the East Coast, he was 12 hours apart, so basically he just flipped the clock. So he got interested, and I knew someone in Singapore who I worked with before I left the country, and he was an Oracle DBA by training, and he was in education as well, and so we started an office in 2021. It was slightly delayed towards the end of the year because we had the acquisition going on. And last year, when we go travel again, I was privileged to have traveled with Francis, our new CEO, to Singapore, and we signed a MOU, a memorandum of understanding, with a local educational institute, and as well we had a seminar event which we had Oracle people in the local office presenting as well. Yeah, and actually this year we are planning to head back again, and I would also say that we do want to kind of help customers in Singapore who already have an Oracle database and wanting to kind of leverage what they already own. And so we're definitely going to do a lot more user group activities. We are trying to revive the Singapore Oracle users group. So Graham is the guy that our point person over there. He's already started the group, and even without any kind of publicity yet, we've already got some people join. So be one of them. We have something that's upcoming. So a lot of talk about ChatGPT these days, and Michelle, who's one of our VPs, she's going to actually.
Oh, it's incredible! This is an in-person event that you'll be there. Like Michelle will be there.
No, she won't be there. It'll be an in-person event, but she'll be presenting remotely. So she's going to be up at I think it's going to be 3 or 4 a.m. for her, and she's going to talk about how fast she could create a proof of concept application. In fact, 2 of them. Using ChatGPT and the app framework being Oracle Apex.
That's wonderful. Hey, thanks so much for sharing that, Adrian. Like, I think it's incredible that you have this like Singapore Oracle user group, and we've seen this kind of like small community groups sort of starting in other areas. Like I know there's one in Japan. There's quite a few in in India. There's others in the region, and like in Australia, and many other places. And we're just sort of seeing a sort of like a resurgence, I think, in this, especially as like people are sort of looking forward to get back in person again and kind of be more proactive, right? Especially after being all locked down. So this is a fantastic initiative. Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, and I would add actually that I believe ODTUG still has the Get Involved initiative, where they are basically helping all the other meetup groups about Apex or I think even other products like EPM and stuff like that. So if you start a meetup group, they will actually help you with the subscription cost.
Oh, wonderful! Oh, great! Yeah, I will definitely share some research on that too. That'd be great.
Yeah,
cool. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Just one little demo that I kind of had prepared. So I wanted to share this because so in Singapore, there's an organization called AI Singapore. A friend of mine, he used to work in Vancouver for a while before he returned to Singapore, and he joined AI Singapore, and this is one of the stuff that he did. It's called Peking Duck. We like low code, right? And the beauty about low code is that, as we see in Apex, is that a lot of things that are difficult has been taken care of by someone else, and we can really just make use of that knowledge and basically build a solution for ourselves. And that's what Peking Duck actually does for computer vision. So I wanted to use this in Apex, right? But it's written in Python. And as of today, I don't think we have a Python engine running in Oracle database yet, right? It's coming, but it's not here yet. So I'm using Oracle functions in the back end, but basically I built this thing I call a privacy enhanced photo collection, where basically if I were to upload a photo, it was going to pick out faces and then mask them with a blur. So I'm just going to try this. Again, it's a live demo. Hopefully it doesn't break. So while it's still processing, I'm able to show the original image, right? So you see the faces here very clearly. And then I have to wait a little while because it needs time to kind of process it. We'll see.
So you're using a function service, no CI, to go and actually do the image manipulation. Is going to detect the faces and kind of block them out.
Correct.
And then this is the result.
What Apex does is it would upload it to an object storage bucket. And then I have an OCI event. that would detect that, the image has gone up, and then it would then invoke a OCI cloud function that has been designed to run Peking duck to do that blurring function. So they have a whole bunch of stuff that you could do with this dabble. I think it's the dabble. And sorry, the draw, right? So this the code that actually does the blurring. So functions is taking care of that, and then once it's done, it just writes back to the object storage bucket. So
very, very,
no
very
tricks.
cool.
It's actually being done live.
Yep. That's incredible. And what I love about this is that, that functionality does not exist in Apex. Like, we're not going to have some functionality going to go and scan your image and kind of blur whatever. But there's a lot of other software out there that does this, and the fact that you can actually leverage existing tools and call it from Apex, right? So your application can focus on what it needs to do, which is upload the image someplace, right? Like a report on it, do whatever you need to do. But all the other esoteric things that need to be done, you can call it another service, right? It's all good. It's going to be an OCI. You can call it to it, have a function, object store, whatever it might be.
That's correct. And I get to do all the cool stuff, right? I don't have to worry about how do I do authentication, how do I display it here. Right. That's all built in.
That's wonderful. Hey, Adrian, thank you so much for taking your time to show us all the cool stuff you've been doing. And thanks for sharing a little bit about your story of how you got started with Apex.
You're welcome. And thanks again for having me this afternoon.
Yeah. All right. I'll pass it back to Chaitanya.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Shakib, and thank you, Adrian. All right. I would like to first thank you, Ashish, for staying up so late and for your keynote today. It was very inspiring, and especially for the JPAC Apex community. Thank you so much for your support and encouragement always. And thank you, Shakib, for the year in review and also interviewing Adrian. It was wonderful to hear from you about the vibrant Apex community globally. And thanks, Adrian. Shakib and Adrian, I think it must be 1 a.m. or whatever late for you guys. So thank you so much for staying up so late for the community today, and really appreciate that. And Adrian, we really look forward for such cool demos and topics from you and your team going forward and being part of this JPAC office hours going forward. Thank you once again. Now, I would like to do some concluding remarks here. I would like to share with everyone to learn more about Apex. Please do visit apex.oracle.com. If you haven't got started with Apex, now is the time to get started. Visit apex.oracle.com. And what it does is it shows you information about the platform overall. What is Apex Service? What is Apex in Cloud? Apex and Autonomous Database. Why should you go for Apex? And then features and low code and deployment, etc. Different use cases and learning materials, lots of learning material like your hands-on labs and live labs, workshops, books, articles, and videos, and also links to the community like events and community resources and also office hours. So please do visit apex.oracle.com. Ashish and Shakib has already mentioned about the learning part. We have put up a lot of effort to bring up this course, Apex Foundations Learning Path, which is for the beginners, and it is a 3.5 plus hour training straight from the Apex team. And please do pass on, please spread the message to your partners, customers, and the community members. Once you pass this, once you go through this learning path, you complete this, you'll be getting a badge. So please do share this badge in social media and use our hashtag Oracle Apex. And also coming up in the upcoming weeks, we'll be having this Foundations Learning Path will be available on LinkedIn Learning and Coursera. We are also working hard to get the Apex Developer Professional Learning Path, which will be like more than like 16 to 17 hours training, which is equivalent to your 5-day corporate training. And also we're coming up with some updated certification in the coming weeks. If you do have an idea, please visit the ideas application, apex.oracle.com/go/ideas. It can be an enhancement. It can be a new feature that you would like us to implement. Please do and share with us, and we would really love to hear from you. You might be a partner who is helping customers build innovative Apex applications. You might have so many questions You might be a very recently onboarded partner, and you would like us to help you out with some trainings, maybe enablements and workshops and things like that. Sometimes you might want some help with talking to your customers about Apex application development. You might also need some hand-holding with your POCs at times. So for any questions, if you are an established partner or if a beginner partner, whoever it is in the region, please do reach out to us and we are happy to help you out. Also, if you're a customer seeking help in Apex, the first thing that you need to do is go to forums.oracle.com. If you have any further questions about any of the Apex features or functionality, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Are you a developer building some cool Apex applications and showcase to the community? You can definitely reach out to us and we'll help you promote that. And we'll be happy to host you in an office hour sessions like this. If you have solved any complex problem using Apex and want to share tips and tricks, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And if you do have any suggestions for any regional language Apex office hour sessions, please do let us know. Going forward, JPAC office hours will also include sessions in other regional languages. We'll keep you posted on that. And please do let us know your ideas for the next Apex office hours sessions. We're happy to help you, and we are also happy to host any of such sessions. And on the screen, you see the Apex support team mailing list. Please do reach out to us for any questions. And not just that, we have the whole JPAC PM team available here to help you out. That's me, Chaitanya, and we have Rupesh, Ankita, Taufik, and Apurva based out of JPAC region. We also have a couple of developers based out of JPAC region. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Most of the Apex members, or rather all of the Apex members and people who you see on the screen, all of the PMs are available on Twitter and LinkedIn. So please don't hesitate to message us for any questions regarding Apex in cloud. We are also happy to help you out. You can email us firstname.lastname@oracle.com. What's next? Next coming up is a global Apex office hours today at 8:30 p.m. IST. And it is about beginner's guide or introduction guide to Oracle Apex. Jason Haynes will be presenting that. So please do join us. And also the next thing for you is to subscribe and join the monthly JPAC office hours. apex.oracle.com/go/JPAC. You can also visit apex.oracle.com to learn more about our regional office hours as well, which is in Spanish and Portuguese and in Arabic. Finally, some learning resources for you. apex.oracle.com, one-stop shop for everything or anything about Oracle Apex. That's it for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. This recording will be available shortly for you to play back. And looking forward to seeing you and meeting you and joining more sessions in the upcoming months. Thank you so much once again, everyone. You have a very good day.